The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
We never got any Neil Diamond today. Kind of hoping for some.
Oh God,
Eagles is good though.
Don't be my wife, okay?
Jesus. Oh, we're having that again.
If you want something, say something, princess.
That's true. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I'm just supposed to read your mind. I forgot.
You know, this road trip, maybe we take 2 cars, honey.
Yeah, I apologize. That's right. That's my bad. Old habits die hard.
You know, God, before I met you, I never knew when to go. Nobody told me the light was green, so. Okay. So we talk about how well you know a guy, as well as Paul and I know each other after 36 years in the same room. And we drive home going out the same way before Paul hits the Roundup Highway. Do you know where I turned yesterday?
Yeah. You turned into Target.
Right.
That parking lot there.
Okay.
And I know Mackenzie River's not open.
Right.
And I know you don't need to charge your car.
No. Went to Office Depot.
Oh, okay.
My wireless mouse is getting worn out, so I was going to get a new one. Office Depot's going out of business in the Heights. They're closing. I go in there, and it's just funny because so much of what we talk about is just observing people. So they got one kid as a cashier, and he's slow. And the first question is, what's a good phone number for you? I don't like that because I don't want to be in your system.
Right.
I want to buy this and I want to leave. That's all I want. I don't need to be in your system. I'm not going to be a regular customer. Lady in front of me got a newborn baby in the carrier, and he's talking to her, and she said, well, can I get a bag because this is a DoorDash? So, Paul, somebody went online.
A DoorDash?
Ordered a wireless mouse and had somebody from DoorDash go pick it up. So there's that. Then I'm thinking, how much money did you make minimum half hour to come to the store with your baby and pick up a mouse and take it to somebody's house? What'd you make, $2? So I get up there, said, what's a good phone number for you? I said, well, I'm not in your system. Well, I need your number.
Give him the station number then.
No, I gave him my phone number.
Oh, did you?
He goes, well, you're not in our system. I said, I'm aware. He said, do you have another phone number? I said, do you know anybody that has 2 phone numbers? The kid just looked at me. I said, I just want the mouse, okay? That's all I want.
Oh, my God, man. Don't you hate that?
I do. Hi, what's your email? What's a good phone number? None of your business. I don't want to be on your mailing list, your call list, all that kind of stuff.
Are you a member of our rewards program? No, I'm not. Would you like to be? You can do this and this. No, I don't want to be. Well, if you do ever want to become a member of the rewards, you can do blah, blah. I said, would you like to be a member of my reward program where I come in and I reward you with cash and take an item home?
Right.
That's my rewards program.
That's a great program. I want to be part of that.
Thank you, Mark. The world's leaving us behind.
It's the only thing I don't like about the Ace Hardware store. Are you a member of our rewards? No. Would you like to be? No. Also, by not having your app or being in your rewards program, I realize I'm going to pay the maximum amount possible because that's how things are set up now with technology. I just want this thing that I came to buy, and I want to go home. Got a message from Jerry Reed to the Eagles. Mark, you rock. No, I was telling Paul, went out to dinner with my daughter last night. Make that a point to go out once a week, and trying to find a place in the Heights last night about 5:30 that didn't have one of the FFA school buses in it. The Lewistown bus was at Pizza Ranch. There was another bus at Chipotle. There was 2 buses at Applebee's because that's where we were going to go. But then we got there. They said it was going to be a 40-minute wait, and so we ended up at Godfather's. And we got there, and it started filling up as we were eating. So they figured out where they were going later. But crazy busy last night.
Has Ryan ever been out to the ranch?
I
don't think she has. Some night if everything's full, call me. I'll throw on some Montana beef cheeseburgers, Wilson, and throw in some waffle fries in the air fryer, and
that'd actually be great.
35-minute wait.
Yeah,
drive out there.
No, you know what? She's never been to your house.
Yeah, she's been down to the cows.
Been down to the cows.
Yeah, I've seen her down there.
And we went to Jim and Julie's one time when she was about 5.
Yeah,
something because we were out driving. And I really kind of enjoy you meeting her boyfriend who comes with us.
You bet. We'll take him back in the hills. We'll show him all those big piles of rocks that I got back there, Wilson.
You know what those are?
Yeah.
Old boyfriends.
Yep. There's stuff under those. You bet. I'm starting to lose my patience with this cow. I'm trying to get this calf on.
That's weird. You should still have all your patience.
I do. And here's one for you. All right. Anyway, back to the story. Although it's only been really about 24 to 36 hours since I put that calf on her. So But the calf's hungry, so he's aggressive because I'm not bottle feeding it anymore. And I went out again this morning and I got a big chunk of hay and throw it in there to keep her occupied and then jump in the pen and get the calf on. And she's still kicking it. And boy, now she's kind of headbutting and stuff. So it's starting to piss me off. So I'm going to, if I go home today and she's nasty again, that cow's going back in the chute, and I'll just leave her in there all over lunch. She can just stand there and that calf can just suck her dry. And took me on the last one, it took me about 3 days. Yeah, she doesn't know it yet, but she's taking that calf. Or she's going to be at one of the many restaurants that you visit. Fuddruckers, Applebee's, one of those places. And I don't mean as a customer either. Oh. It rained at my house last night a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I went out this morning and the yard was wet. You know what I did yesterday, folks? I sprayed weeds in my yard yesterday. I don't know if you haven't.
Actually,
There's weeds coming all over the place.
the weeds are coming. In fact, I got to call him today. True Green Chemlon sprayed my yard.
Oh, yeah?
But I didn't call him to do that. My neighbor 2 doors down, Jared, did, and he didn't get his yard sprayed.
Oh, well, guess what? Mark's got a free True Green treatment on his yard.
And if we get that 1.5 inches of rain this weekend,
Oh, yeah.
that stuff is going to jump out of the
Oh,
ground.
yeah. Especially next week when it gets warm.
Yep.
Trees are going to bud, that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so I had to take time, and they were pissing me off. I got home and was working with that cow and calf once I got home from the other place. And I thought, hell, I'm going to spray a tank. And, of course, when you don't use your hand sprayer over the course of a winter, everything is all gummed up and gooey, and you
Right.
got to clean it all out. And that pisses me off, too. So I thought, why don't I just throw these away every year and get a new one? They're $19.
For some things,
And I use them a lot over the course of the summer. Plastic Chinese crap.
our old buddy Car Wash Corey said that to me years ago. I said, "Why do you throw stuff like that away?" He goes, "Oh no, if I need it, I know I keep it at Walmart. I just go get it when I need it."
Yeah. So, I had to spray some weed yesterday. Little rain over the weekend, though. That'll help the grass jump out. Guys in agriculture will be looking forward to that. I've got mine out now on just one little section there, nibbling on some grass, and they need that now, so... Imagine, folks, here it is. Imagine if you were a cow and you had to eat Nabisco shredded wheat for 6 months in a row without milk on it. That's what they've been doing, when they eat this hay. And as soon as they get a little juicy green grass out there, holy schmoly, they just go crazy. And that's what they want now, so the rain will help bring that on. In the words of Joni Messina,
Bring on the rain.
bring on the rain. I'm music all the time.
Actually, we're going to have a little music lesson this morning during the Nashville segment about TLC. You're gonna,
We?
yeah, you, me, buddy.
No, I don't need it. I don't need a lesson.
It's information you don't currently contain, and I want you to have it.
Okay.
Yesterday, Paul and I parked on Montana Avenue, and the building across the street, they're doing some type of renovation too, so they had a big semi there yesterday, and all the other cars around me had left. And when I walked out, they had strung some crime scene tape along the side of my pickup. I was like, look, I'll get out of your way, but don't be putting the yellow tape on my truck.
Yeah, I see they were unloading sheetrock and stuff into that building.
Yep.
So, by the way, if you work at Zentz Lumber up there in the Heights today, your load of lumber is sitting there waiting for you to unload. He's parked on the road.
Oh, okay.
The truckers, they don't know when they're going to get in.
No.
But so he's just there. I'm sure he's in his sleeper, just taking a nap.
That's what my love seat is, a sleeper.
Heights Project mired in misinformation. No, everybody who lives up there has all the information that they need.
Right.
It's not mired in misinformation. These people aren't the nurses and the doctors in the new wings of the hospital that are moving in there.
No.
It's not misinformation. People are concerned in their neighborhood, period.
If you had that moving into your neighborhood, you'd be concerned as well.
We had one woman who had ties with the city stop a gymnastics school from being built out there on the West End because she didn't want the increased traffic. They're putting 200 mini-camped homes up there.
Yeah.
That's going to have a traffic impact, but they're not stopping that one.
Folks, if you get a chance, drive by that on Sioux Lane. That is not enough ground for the number of people that are going to be there.
No.
Where are you going to park, for starters?
That's not misinformation. Look at it. The misinformation causing fear and anger to come alive in our community that I feel has a criminal intent, said Paul Webster, who runs Homefront. That's the Billings Housing Authority now.
Right. Owen said she doesn't think the storytelling was entirely fueled by the media, that the questions began when the pods started coming in.
People, he said, have received false information thinking it's going to be a refugee camp, a migrant camp, or a homeless shelter, said Jennifer Owen, council member. The development will, in reality, be a regular affordable housing complex, with tenants required to pay some part of the rent, pass credit and background checks, and demonstrate rental history. Well, that kind of contradicts each other. If they have a rental history, why do they only have to pay part of the rent? So the misinformation then about low-income housing, if you're paying part of the rent for all those people, then apparently it is low-income housing.
Exactly right.
Right?
Yeah.
That's not misinformation. There are 7,000 households currently on wait list for affordable housing in Billings. And let me give some information to Paul Webster, CEO of Homefront. There are 7,100 people currently on a wait list for affordable housing. Now, we know there's 3,000 jobs available in the area that need people to work.
Right.
If you would pick up an extra one of those, then the housing that is already available would be then affordable.
Right.
Right?
Right, exactly.
Once people hear the truth, I think they'll realize this is a good thing.
This has faced public backlash this week, fueled by work beginning at the site and misinformation spread via morning radio.
See? See?
Come on in on the show. Come in on the show and tell your side. We'd love to have you. All I know is the people I'm talking to that live around there, they're not excited about this.
There must have been some special zoning exception, too, for this complex.
Yeah.
Did anybody see them put sewers in there?
You know, when I drove by it, I didn't see anything stubbed in because usually you'll see the pipes and all that kind of stuff. And they're going to have to do that.
Sidewalks?
No.
You know, the city council, who these people were talking to, they forced some neighborhoods to put sidewalks in. I don't know how that place could survive without a bike trail right through the middle of it.
Well, that's the main reason people move here.
I don't remember ever seeing an environmental impact study done on that piece of ground.
Yeah.
I never recall seeing that. Also, with 200 of those there, it's going to have an impact on the schools that are in the area. I'd also like to know why that area was selected. Why that lot with all the other lots around town? Why didn't they pick that mini camp and put it out on the West End?
Yeah, great question.
Why not the West End, where town is growing? That's interesting. When Walmart folks built their store on a vacant lot up in the Heights, the city council, who is quoted in these articles, they made Walmart rebuild the entire city area around that store.
Yes, they did.
Roads, lights, landscaping, they had to be a certain color. Remember that, Wilson?
I do.
Here we're building a housing complex with 200 of these mini homes there. And what hoops did they have to jump through? Do they have to add any city parks for those people?
Well, there's no room.
I mean, are they being held accountable for that development? Or does this Billings Housing Authority or Homefront, or do they get a pass on these kind of things? Because every other business, they're forced to landscape the area, for God's sakes.
Right. If you or I were to buy that chunk of ground and build a house there, we'd have to jump through all those hoops.
Yep. Remember, like Brett's RV, remember what they had to do out there when they built? They had to
fight because they wanted to plant 200 trees or some damn thing.
All that. What's this place have to do? What do they have to do? Did all those people that are moving into these mini camps, do they all get the increase in their property taxes?
Well, no, they're renters.
Renters.
Yeah.
Who pays for them? I mean, these are all questions people have. Trying to find the other part of this article that was here. I wanted to read what else they had to say about it. Let's see. Where is this? A6. Let's go to A6. And who's paying the rent? Who's paying the other part of the rent then?
You and me, buddy. Affordable housing.
Well, it's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's a grant, that's tax.
Right.
And I got about 12 of my statements yesterday. They all went up.
Yeah. Hey, my house is $243 more expensive to live in than it was 6 months ago.
Yeah. I'm going to jump the governor about that and understand how that happened. Because I seem to recall, don't quote me, I seem to recall the commissioners, I think they decided not to add those levies. And then I think the state trumped them and said, no, you will add those extra mills. I'm not sure. I think that's how it kind of went. And, folks, if you're in agriculture and you you have multiple pieces of land, every single one of them gets an increase. And I wonder, here's another thing I don't know about. I wonder if it happened in all counties.
Don't know that.
Because I also have land in Muscle County, and I haven't got a statement yet from Muscle County on my Muscle property that has gone up.
Oh, this is a great question. For the man camp housing, if it's affordable or low income, as well as a big continuous unit, what about a sprinkler system for fire prevention?
Mark your calendar for some great events coming to the Roadside Event Center next to the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley. Join them for dinner and music Saturday, April 6th with Man and Tan and Mississippi Pot Roast. Tickets are $30 and available at the Blue Cat Bar. On April 12th, don't miss Kellen Smith and the Nate Champion Band. Live music continues with Clay Halos on Saturday, April 19th. Remember their amazing prime rib on Fridays and loaded Bloody Marys on the weekends. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 miles east of the Metra exit.
Can't let the kids stay overnight at Tumbleweed because they don't have sprinklers.
Yeah.
Why does this thing get a pass?
Yeah, you have to have certain amount of space between buildings, codes,
Right.
city codes. Owen, who was on the council, said, I don't think the storytelling was entirely fueled by the media.
Well, no. We talked to a lot of people that live around there.
The questions began when the pot started showing up. Exactly right. That's what we started getting called. Homefront, which used to be the Billings Housing Authority, started this concept a year ago. And they did significant media, but people forgot that. You didn't do this media.
No, not here.
I know which media you did. You did the Entertainment Tonight version of media on the TV stations where everything is great.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, they're not against anything.
No, everything is great. Constituents have expressed concern about what it looks like. They're seeing some things of this is in the middle of it happening, like any other construction site. The designs I've seen have been really good. Homefront, formerly the Housing Authority of Billings, has owned the land since the 90s. Currently operates 2 other housing complexes on the property, which are both low income. 200 new man camp units from the Bakken. They will be converted into 100 2-bedroom units, each about 770 square feet. Homefront, your Billings Housing Authority, is paying $14,000 per man camp. They'll combine them to make 3-story buildings with 2-bedroom units per floor. Boy, I don't know how they could get away with that without fire. I mean, one fire, $14,000 per man camp? I wonder where these guys, I wonder where they get their money. That's $2.8 million, folks. That's a lot of dough. Building a 770 square foot unit from scratch would cost $94,000, according to a report from the Billings Building Division. The campus was intended to be built up over time, so people shouldn't be surprised, given the waiting list for housing. Owen, city council person, said she understands people are concerned. Higher density can lead to crime, but we won't stop crime by making the housing shortage worse. There you see. People need housing. Yes, they do. But why is it my responsibility to get them a house? Look in the mirror.
That's
like
exactly. You're
like
right.
I've always said, ask yourself this question. What do I blame my lack of success on?
You have the same 24 hours in a day as I do.
Exactly. There's plenty of work available. Well, they can't find a house here. Well, then what do we do?
1984, I couldn't afford an apartment, so I lived in a house with 4 other people. That was my affordable housing. That's what I had to do. And was working 2 jobs.
How many of these people in all of these man camps are broke that can't afford housing? Do they have kids? Kids are expensive. What are they going to do with the kids? They're going to build a big playground there.
Paul, there's not room.
Is it there?
You should drive by that on your way home today.
Well, and they got to put 200 of them. They're going to stack them on top of each other.
There's not parking. There's no room for a park. There's not enough room for the people they're going to shove in there.
I don't. I wonder. They're going to have to build stairs or something then for the camps piled on top of each other.
Oh, I'm sure.
One of the councilman's niece said he was apprehensive when he was on the Heights Task Force many years ago, and he heard Homefront was putting up affordable housing. But seeing what Homefront has done with the developments as well as the 513 units they own and manage has changed his mind. That's great. Where does Homefront funding come from, though?
I don't know that.
Is it from donations?
Don't engineers have to plan if they can stack them?
Yes, that's what I said. What about the infrastructure that is required? Roads in, roads out, sidewalks, landscaping,
Right.
all of that kind of stuff has to be done.
Right. Paul, if I were to put as many of these as I could fit on my piece of property, I could never get it done because I couldn't jump through all the hoops.
Yeah. And look, Neese and Owens, just because people of the media have questions or people of the community have questions, they're allowed to do that in the United States.
Yes, you are.
You're allowed to ask questions about your organization or your group.
Right.
You're allowed to, You're a citizen and you have rights too.
Right.
You have right to know about these things. You guys sound like my sister. My sister says I do research, but the only research she ever does is on her side of the story. That's not research.
Right.
You do both sides. Was there a traffic assessment done? Whenever you have things like that, you have to do a traffic assessment. All kinds of things have to be done. EPA evaluations, groundwater evaluations, all those kind of things. Where sewers put in. I mean, they must have a sewer system there. They have to be able to hook to.
Oh, I'm sure they'll hook into city services.
Yeah, they got to be in there somewhere in the ground that they can tap into. So anyway, there's nothing wrong with asking questions, folks.
Right.
You know what? Screw you guys. You don't get to push over the citizens. You people work for the public.
That's right.
You're in public service. You have to answer questions to them. They may disagree with you. That's their right. People disagree with us all the time. That's their right.
Right.
But you have to answer to those people.
Well, and you're obviously feeling a little bit of the heat right now. Have a press conference. Come on to local radio stations. Do a press blitz. Get your information out there.
I understand the concern. No doubt about it. The city owns a lot of property around town that they could put those camps in. And so why that one? Well, they already have low-income housing in that area. So what have you just done? You've just added another multitude of low-income housing again into that area rather than spreading it out throughout the city. Mm-hmm. There's more and more and more low-income housing in that whole area up there. And folks, once again, as the county prick, as I am, I'm going to give you more information on how our students are doing. There's an article in the paper today about it. And if you've listened for over 36 years, you know how I am about students doing well.
Oh, got a message about that. The impact on Bench School.
Yeah, all of them. Mm-hmm. The share of Montana students that are able to read and write in the grade that they're in the state, we held steady. 37% of our kids are at their proficiency level in math. This is in the state. 37%. So what that means, for those of you who aren't good in math, 63% of students in the state of Montana, 63% are not proficient in math in the grade they're in. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Remember that?
Yeah.
Only 46% in the state are proficient in reading and 37% in science. Now, let's look at Billings School District 2. Their rate is even behind the state average. Folks, you are going to say, are you dirty word me when you hear this? In Billings, see, this is why Owens and Neese and these people, they hate us.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're the media and we give you... Now, the paper's got it. Mm-hmm. The paper can put it in there. In the high school district and school district 2, folks, only 30% of our kids are proficient or advanced when it comes to math. Only 30%. How are they supposed to survive? Mm-hmm. How are they supposed to be able to figure out budgets and rent if they can't do math? 30%. In reading, 48% of high schoolers are proficient or advanced in reading. In science, are you ready for this? In science, only 25% of our kids in high school are proficient in science. 25%, folks. And you know what? All these kids, keep this in mind, the 70% who can't do math according to their grade level, the 52% who can't read in their grade level, this is high school, and the 75% who aren't proficient in science in their grade level, they all graduate.
That's right. How can that be?
In our elementary schools, we have a 36% proficiency in in math. In our grade schools, we have a 39% proficiency rating, and in science in our grade schools, 35%. The ESSA Act, Every Student Succeeds Act, mandates that schools report on their academic achievement and allocate resources appropriately to ensure that they don't fall behind. And yet, every year we get increases in salaries with STEP programs, this and that. And to be fair, we don't know what a lot of these teachers are dealing with.
Right.
Mark your calendar for some great events coming to the Roadside Event Center next to the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley. Join them for dinner and music Saturday, April 6th with Man and Tan and Mississippi Pot Roast. Tickets are $30 and available at the Blue Cat Bar. On April 12th, don't miss Kellen Smith and the Nate Champion Band. Live music continues with Clay Halos on Saturday, April 19th. Remember their amazing prime rib on Fridays and loaded Bloody Marys on the weekends. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 miles east of the Metra exit.
We don't know about the new instruction things coming from these whacked out people that this is the way we want to teach now. So you have to give them the benefit of the doubt there. Females are outperforming the males. In science, males do better than females. But that's generic. You can't argue with the female when it comes to science. You just can't. Oh, that's not true. You just can't. So, you got to throw that one out. It's just awful. Folks, that is just awful. Awful news. Who's on our State Board of Education? Who's running the educational system here? Why can't we change it? Getting students into the classroom is a tough challenge. Only 33% of students show up for school 95% of the time. Oh, I'm sick. Could you call in for me today? I don't feel good. Or they're left on their own to get to school. Mom and dad leave. There's nobody home. No parent discipline at all. And they don't go.
No.
Or they go somewhere else. 33% of kids only showed up 95% of the time. Out of the 180-day school year, the target of 95% attendance allows a student to miss 9.5 days a year. So and keep in mind, that's what you need to graduate. You don't need to be proficient in math, science, and reading. Attendance. Ongoing issue faced by schools is staffing. 10,973 full-time teachers during the academic year. They consider 7% of them inexperienced. Half of all teachers the past year were employed in schools with larger concentrations of students from households experiencing poverty. Well, then that's bad news for Bench School and Skyview High School then, isn't it?
Yes, it is, and Castle Rock.
Mm-hmm. Districts deemed to be in the bottom 5% of schools or with a 4-year high school graduation rate below 67% will get additional funding. Why? Why don't we give the damn funding to the schools that are above that?
Backwards.
Folks, this whole thing we're reading here, this big pot of stew that we're throwing in all kinds of things in, is one of the main reasons why they don't want school choice.
Yeah, you're right.
Because then the people would go to the schools that have the good teachers, that have the good report cards, and they wouldn't be able to keep the other ones open. They get more funding. For example, in 2018, 8 schools that are in the Hardin District, which includes part of the Crow Reservation, received $122,000 each to supplement the staff salaries and stipends and pay for consultants. On the other hand, schools like Rygate, they only got $51,000 to purchase a new math curriculum and computers. A new math curriculum. Maybe that's another part of the problem. And folks, as always, just like the city council people talk about us talking about housing issues and things like that, you're not allowed to do that. Education, folks, is another one of those subjects that nobody is allowed to talk about.
You're right.
It's untouchable. We put them on a pedestal. Mm-hmm. And this is an untouchable subject. Leave us alone. We'll take care of it. You shut your pie hole. This is our business. We know what we're doing. You stay out of it. It's one of those things. Whether you like it or not, it's true. Yeah. You're not allowed to talk about it, bring it up in conversation, blah, 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 this and that. And it needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about more. Look what they do at the school board meetings. You could go up and you can voice your frustration, but there is no public comment. We will not interact with any of you, the taxpayers. None of you. There will be no interaction. Thank you for your comments. Now get your ass the hell out of here and let us run our system.
And we're still going to do what we were going to do anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crap.
It's untouchable. It's untouchable. And once again, there's a couple radio media.
We love when you get mad at us and say, well, you you're just disc jockeys.
I had 4 kids, pushed them hard in their education. They all studied. They knew work ethic, all of that kind of stuff. Worked my ass off, get them through college. Don't tell me I'm not pro-edu. I am more pro-education than anybody because I've seen the results.
Right, you have. That's another reason people don't like you.
I remember, yeah, exactly. John was dicking off. I'm sorry, folks. I mean, he was messing around one time in high school. And Mark, it pissed me off so bad.
I remember that.
Looked at his report card and he had D's and stuff and went to the homework report and he wasn't even turning in his homework and he was playing basketball. I sat him down on the couch, folks. I ripped him a new one. I said, look at me. I look like 10 miles of bad road. I'm up all damn night working my ass off. My hands are bleeding. I'm tired. I have headaches. Getting you through school and you won't even do your homework. You're using my gas, my pickup. You're going to practice. I'm giving you $20 to go eat after the game. And you do this kind of stuff? Folks, I had him in tears on the couch.
Good.
And you know what happened? That's what happened. So don't tell me I don't care about this kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mark and I love kids more than all you adults.
That's a fact.
We've done more stuff for kids in our 36 years. God, and it's not their fault. You got to challenge them. You got to push them. You got to change the way you do things. You got to get rid of the cell phones. You got to get to how much more proof do you need, folks, that you need to get these students' attentions in the classroom and have it all day long.
That's a fact.
How much more proof do you need? That the proof is in the pudding there and all those test score results. But you folks in Billings and surrounding areas, you all shut your pie hole.
Right.
You let us take care of the educational thing here. We'll do it. Look, we were trained. We'll all do it this way. You don't know what we're dealing with. So all of you people just shut your face. And if we need more, you just give it to us and we'll take care of it.
Yep.
You got to have results for the investment.
For the amount of money.
I know it, Mark. And you parents got to straighten up, too.
Yeah. You got to be involved.
You got to focus. You got to put your priorities back in line.
Yeah.
You bunch of loser-ass parents out there. I'm about to say things this morning that I should, but it's true.
It is.
You brought those kids into the world. You got a responsibility. And you make sure they're doing the work and where they should be. And use your discipline on them. Make the teachers' jobs easier so they don't have to do the crap that you're failing on.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Folks, I'm going to tell you.
I came in a good mood this morning, you know.
Yeah, you're still in a good mood. This is going to be my favorite podcast we've ever had.
Is it?
It is. It is.
Wow.
We'll get rolling with regular stuff here. 6:15.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.